Hello and welcome back to the Client Code podcast. My name is Carol Cavale and today you are in for a treat. And yes, I know you're tired because I constantly give you treats, but here's some more. Okay. So our guest today is really one that I think is coming at divine timing because it feels like that energy where we need to shift, where we need to go from just surviving to thriving, to also just living our best life. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready to live mine. So if someone can help me with that, I'm all in. Okay. So if you have ever felt like you were drowning, one, you're not alone. And two, this episode is for you. And welcome to the Client Code podcast.
My gosh, your energy is fantastic. This is already the best podcast ever.
First of all, I love that you said that. Thank you so much. I'm just going to clip that. And for the intro, I'm just going to add that in. This is the best podcast ever.
Perfect.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you? I'm excited to be here.
I'm also excited to have you here. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. But before I start asking you random questions, I need to ask you the question that I ask everybody on the show, and I'm really excited to dive into, which is, Wendy, what is your unique client code?
Yeah, I love this question. My unique client code. I serve women who want to live happier lives. It is that simple. I serve women who are tired of surviving, tired of checking the boxes, living on autopilot, feeling like their life is not their own. They are ambitious women who are doing all the right things. They're getting the educations, the trainings, they're moving up corporate ladders, they're starting businesses, they have families, they're doing it all, yet they feel a little bit, a little hollow inside, a little empty inside, a little bit like something's missing inside. Even though life is so good and there's so much to be grateful for, something's still missing. And so I take women through my process, my methodology of understanding your North Star, which is what your strengths are, your values, and your desires, to actually design your life and to not show up using hope as your strategy, but to show up and say, I'm claiming my life. I get to have a very significant say in how this life is experienced. And there we go. We create some thriving, happy ladies.
Okay, should we just stop the podcast here? Because I feel like everybody should just stop listening and go and work with Wendy. Because I know you're listening and you're like, oh, that's me. Oh, that's me. And you're taking mental notes. So you know what? I'm not even going to be offended. Go to her. Because I identified like 4 friends off the top of my head who I'm like, some people need to have a conversation with Miss Wendy. Oh, yeah.
Right. It's almost like this realization for me was that there's so many more women feeling that way than I even would have guessed. I came from this place of I was surviving. I was checking boxes. I said to myself, there's got to be something better than this. Like, is this what I got my doctorate for? Is this what I had 16 children for? Is this what I got married and bought a house and had a picket fence for? Like, this can't be as good as it gets. And then I started
before we
realizing,
move on,
oh my
I need
God.
to know, did you say 16 children? I just need to make sure I heard that correctly.
Yeah, I did, but it just feels that way. There's only 3.
Okay. Because I'm like, girl, we need to have another podcast just for that one because my brain is like, she's saying some really good stuff, but you just need to follow up on that one real quick.
Just 3 daughters. Sometimes it feels like 16 children, so I just throw that in there. That's my way of like venting.
I will say, like, girls, as a woman, I can tell you, we count for like 5 kids. So technically, you did have 16. I mean, I give you the bonus one because you have 3. So you know what? You're doing the most. You're doing the best. I'm not a mom yet, but everybody tells me it does feel like you're raising a whole little team. So.
It's bonkers. It is bonkers. And that's what set me off on this path was like, wait a second. I didn't expect life would feel this wonky and chaotic and overwhelming in all the good and hard ways. And I found myself in that struggle of like, wait a second. Like, I'm not depressed, but I'm missing something. I'm not like in a clinical state, but I'm longing for something. Something's missing. Something's amiss here. What is amiss? And as soon as I realized, oh my gosh, I was living life like reacting to it. I was living life by everyone else's needs of me, wants of me, expectations of me, which is normal. We do this as women. It's not so common. But I realized, I disconnected from myself. My desires are on the back burner. My goals are on the back burner. My values, even though some are highlighted in this stage of life, there were several that weren't. My strengths, my gifts, my talents weren't being utilized. And I was like, this can't be as good as it gets. So
No,
here we are. We're not alone in this.
no, we're definitely not alone. And I just feel like some of us don't even know what that is. We've taken so much on for so long that it's hard to find ourselves again because we don't know what ourselves even looks like. Like we don't really remember what, the original you was because all these people had so many influences that you're just like, but I'm supposed to be happy, like you said. Can I ask, now that we know all of this, we know we're not alone, we know it's happening. You talk a lot about living life by design, right? How do we actually do that?
First of all, you have to claim it. You have to remember that while there are a lot of parts of life that you don't have control over, what other people think, what they do, what they say, what they believe, the weather, anything essentially outside of yourself, you have no control over. So there's a
Mm,
surrender that's part of this process. It's not like I'm an ambitious woman, so I'm going to just try to control the world, which I have tried that and it doesn't work. It is about the balance of surrender and intentionality. It's understanding that I'm not going to struggle with things outside of my control. Instead, I'm going to surrender to what happens over here, but I'm going to claim my influence over here. I'm going to claim my power over here. And so you're saying, well, how do you do that, right? Beyond
correct.
the first step, which is acceptance, surrender, and influence. That's what we're going to focus on. The influence is where we have our power. The influence comes down to reconnecting with yourself. Like, who am I? And I just posted about this. Who do I want to be in the next year? What do I want to be? Like, what do I want to be about? Because we're so often surviving days, checking the boxes, going through autopilot. We're so busy, exhausted, burnt out, overwhelmed that we're not pausing to say, hey, self, are you on board with this? Like, is this what you want? Is this who you wanted to be at 30, at 35, at 40, at 50, at 20? Is this what you want? And then we respond, oh, I don't know. I never asked myself that question. And we start to get curious. Curiosity is a big way back to ourselves. It is a major pathway towards reconnecting with who I've been to who I'm meant to be. So we start getting curious, ask ourselves questions. Who do I want to be? What do I want to be about? What serves me? What hasn't served me? What do I love about my life? Because there's always good. There's so much to feel grateful for, to be present and to embrace, to feel like I am so proud. I'm so grateful and so appreciative of what I have. Celebrate and give yourself permission to long for, to want for, and to create more. So curiosity is a big piece of this, but really it's taking yourself through this, what I call your North Star, your compass, your roadmap, to saying, what do I desire? What do I value? And what are my natural talents and my strengths? And then it's about deciding the lifestyle that you want to wake up to every day. What habits do I want to wake up to? What mindset do I want to wake up to? What job do I want to wake up to? What person do I want to wake up next to? Right? All of those things become an opportunity to choose. And so the biggest piece of step one is permission to choose. Permission to choose an alternative to the life you've been living.
That one's a powerful one. I'm not going to lie to you. That's a powerful one. When I am ready to claim that permission, how does one do it? Do I just like sit by myself? Do I journal? Do I say I'm changing my mindset? How do I claim it? How do I access that?
Yes, to all of it. The first thing is to just acknowledge it because so many women won't even let themselves go there. And you'd be
Wow.
surprised how many women don't even let themselves go there. Like, I have no time to think about what I want. I got to go pick up the kids from school. I have no time to think about what I want. I have a report to turn into my supervisor. And so the first step, and it sounds powerful, but it's more powerful than it sounds, is simply
Mm-hmm.
stating in your mind out loud, in a journal, on a piece of paper, in a car, in a bar, with a cat and a hat. It doesn't matter. It's like any way that you can be present in a moment where you're choosing a different future is the start. Then, of course, journal about it, hire a mentor, get yourself into a place of dreaming land, I like to call it. If we're going to dream and we say, all right, here's how today went A, B, C, D, E, we kind of walk through our day, take a day audit, a life audit if you want to for a week. Then ask yourself, what did I love about my day or my week? What really served me? What was me in my day? Who was I in the day? And then ask yourself, if I could create a dreamy day tomorrow, not like necessarily just a vacation day or a spa day, although that's a beautiful day too, but like a realistic ideal day. I wake up and I do this. I wake up and I think this. I wake up and I talk to these people and I set boundaries around those people. I end my
Mm-hmm.
evenings this way. I'm watching these shows. I'm doing these hobbies. I am interviewing for a new position or job. I am staying and working my way up this corporate ladder. I'm starting a business. What's the dream? And this does take some time. I've had clients that, I literally just hung up with a client who was crying on the call because they finally felt like themselves again. And they didn't even realize how disconnected they had been. It's like we don't even realize it. It's so gradual. It's like this super quiet, fracturing, self-betrayal, erosion of our connection to self that happens over time. It's not like it's this 180 we experience one day to the next. So it does for some take time to be like, who am I? But that's why I love, as the science human that I am, I love assessments. I love taking people through exercises and being like, we're going to find out in the next 10 minutes exactly who you are. Let's go. That is really, and we can include one of those assessments in the show notes because I think your audience would love to be like, well, who am I? What are my strengths? Like, let's do it. It's so fun to be like, oh, that does sound like me at my best. Then that plants those seeds of, oh, okay, so if my day actually highlighted the best parts of me, the desires I have, the values I have, where would I be making some swaps? Get curious, get dreamy, get clear. Those are the pieces that really make a big difference. But the biggest piece, honestly, again and again and again, in every chapter season of life is permission. Permission to start making shifts. And more recently, I've been talking a lot about this, and this is where my 2026 will go, is knowing your no. Knowing your no, understanding that when you know what you say no to, it opens your yeses. It gives you room to say yes to new opportunities and experiences. You have to know what you need to say no to in order to design the life that you want.
I think that's so powerful, what you've just said, knowing your nose. Want to put it on my wall there and just be like, really? Because what you said, if we take a minute just to digest that, is if I'm very firm on what I won't do, then what I will do will naturally present itself to me.
Yes.
And it's just that simple.
Yes, it's just that simple. It's just that simple. Behind every yes is something you must say no to create space for it. Otherwise, your yeses will be misaligned and you'll be overscheduled and resentful and frustrated and burnt out. And you're like, well, what do? I don't have any room left or time left or space left or energy left. Well, know your no. Learn how to say no to the proper things to say no to. And then you're like, oh, there's space. Oh, okay. Now I see what I want to do with this evening or with this hour or with this time. Oh, okay. I get it now.
Yeah, I love that. One thing though, this all sounds, as I like to say, well, in theory, right? But I think as humans, because we are, there's always that nagging little voice. There's always that doubt. There's always some imposter syndrome. There's a lot of fancy words for it. But basically, it's some part of us that is trying to keep us safe, in inverted commas, and yet it doesn't move us forward. So how do we deal with that?
Bring it with you.
Be like, hi, come with.
Yeah, hi, come with. I'm going for it anyway. I'm doing it anyway. Come with me. You want to sit in the passenger seat? Go ahead. You don't have power over me. You can come along for the ride, but I'm not going to give you my energy anymore. Like, this is the thing that at the end of the day, we need to choose that what we want matters more than what our inner critic says. We need to choose that what we desire matters more than someone else's approval. We need to decide and claim that our happiness is more valuable than being liked. We have to choose it for ourselves. And so, yes, there's 6,000 strategies of how to combat imposter syndrome or how to kill self-doubt. And I'm not knocking those. I work on those with clients all day long, sure. But at the end of the day, the most powerful hack, trick, tip, way to collapse time on living the life you want is to just bring it along for the ride and stop fighting it. All right, I have a little imposter syndrome going into this podcast today or into this talk today or into my meeting today. I feel a little nervous about it. Or what if I sound like a fraud or I sound stupid or I make a, okay, well, come along anyway, because I'm going for it, because what I'm about, my standards, my desires, my goals, my dreams reflect my behavior. And so when I choose action over misaligned thinking, I create evidence to the contrary of what my brain is spitting out to trip me up.
First of all, what you just said was very disarming for me because I'm like, what do you mean just bringing with you? But the way you said it makes so much sense and it's so simple. I love when things are simple. Honestly, as if you're not listening to the podcast anymore, it's fine because I feel like I'm taking all the notes. I'm taking all the notes for all of us. You can come see me in 2026 where I'm living my best life. Because truly I'm like, oh my goodness, this is some actual stuff. The wonderful thing that I love about you, Wendy, is that I know this, and maybe we haven't had a chance to talk about it, but I do know this because I had to prepare for this interview, is that like you're a woman of science. So I know what you're saying comes from fact. And I know it's going to work because it's not just fluff. And that is also really important when you're making such big moves. So honestly, thank you for just sharing that with me.
Yeah.
I might just write that on my, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I have a whiteboard here. I'm gonna write that too. One is the no thing. And two, take it with you because
Take it with
you're right.
you. Like, we overcomplicate everything. Like, let's just keep it simple. Like, we don't have to wrestle everything, fight everything, overcome everything to be our best selves or to live our best lives. Bring the crap along with you. It'll eventually start to fade away, dissolve. It'll eventually have no power because the evidence of you creating the life you want is going to outweigh the fears, the doubts, and the imposters. Like, it just is like, wait, but I see my life. Okay, got it. Here's the evidence. I don't have to worry about you anymore. You kind of just fade away. But it's not everyone thinks like I'm broken or I need to be fixed or something's wrong with me. I need to do more work on myself. What if we just like stopped having that tug of war and just dropped the rope and we're like, actually, I'm just going to embrace a better life. How about that? What if I just put my energy into not fighting against myself and I instead just put it into designing what I want? Imagine that. Imagine that.
There's a saying, as you're saying, first of all, I kid you not, I literally have goosebumps. Like I can feel them on my body because like
Love that.
it's resonating so deeply. And then
Good.
two, it's coming with me that there's this YouTuber that I love to watch. Her name is Amber Scholl. And she always has this little quote. She says like, what if it doesn't come true? But what if it does?
Right.
Like, what if it does? What
Right.
if we could actually live the life we were destined to live, that we want to live? And I'm not saying we all have to be out here in Lamborghinis and private jets because that's not everybody's thing. But I'm just saying, whatever that looks like for you, I want you to know that Wendy has told us today, one, that it's possible, two, that we can do it through permission, and three, like it's closer than we think. So honestly, what a journey we've been on today. I loved it.
I really love that. I love that you said that. Like, it's closer than you think. And this is such a key piece. Another thing that I'll hear so much from my clients is like, it feels so far, but I feel so far. I feel so behind. And all of a sudden, as soon as you implement really simple strategy like this, just giving yourself permission, stating it out louder in your head, claiming it, choosing an alternative, bringing the imposter with you. All of a sudden, you're like, I've been living under the mindset of can'ts, won'ts, shouldn'ts, failures, and now all of a sudden it clicks into this other part of my brain that's like possibility, opportunity. If she can, so can I. And this is the thing I say a lot is when you see someone online, yes, social media, highlight reel, it's not real, all the things. There's parts that are real though. There's parts
Yeah.
that are real. And so somebody may not show the whole picture, but that's not the point. It's not a diary necessarily. It doesn't have to be your diary. It's just a way of expressing yourself or whatever it is. But there are people on social media that typically might trigger us. And so I say you have two choices. One, unfollow or mute. Absolutely don't let yourself feel forced to be triggered by somebody. But number two, what about the alternative that you can look at her and see the life that she's living, even if it's a highlight reel, and say, if she can, so can I. If she can and she's
Yeah.
living proof of it, at least to a certain percentage of what we're seeing, I could also have that percentage of what we're seeing, depending on how I choose to show up today. So I just feel like shorten the gap, bridge the gap, let yourself see that there's an alternative world to play in and to experiment with. And it doesn't have to be, I had to climb a mountain to get here necessarily. I have to overcome myself to get here. I have to be a better, different person you could just also decide today's going to be a good day and I'm going to get out there and I'm going to make it different. That's all. Start there.
I love that. Okay, guys, we have a lot of homework to do. So before I let Wendy run away so that we can go do our homework, I need to ask you this. Kind of like my life mantra and like something that I live by is the saying that says, what you don't change, you choose. So I'd love to know from you, what is it that you are choosing today?
I love it. I am choosing, and this is such a great question for me right now, because I am coming off of the most challenging, hardest, darkest year of my adult life. I lost my
Mm,
father. We moved so far away, states and states and states away from where our home was. We're transitioning. Everything's new. We have no people yet it's like the whole thing. It's like this whole new world with so many struggles. And for a long part of that time was adjustment, coping, navigating, getting through it. And I'm just getting to this place where in my life right now, I'm feeling the inspired energy again. I'm getting creative. I'm getting excited. I'm getting possibilities back. So, first of all, if you've had a tough year, also allow that that doesn't need to dictate next year or today or tomorrow, but also allow yourself to pause and just feel really proud of yourself for getting through some really dark times. What I'm choosing is to reclaim my best, my version of my best life, my best self, my power, my energy, that I've done a lot of the darkness and now it's time to come and have some fun. So for me, I'm not going to choose to sit and wonder what tomorrow is or hope tomorrow is better. I'm choosing to show up and say, if I make tomorrow better, what would that mean to me? What would that look like? So that is how I'm closing this year, is choosing and starting a new year with choosing to live it by my design even more so. Because there's things we don't have control over, but I'll be damned if the things I do have control over don't have my stamp on them. Not going to happen.
Not gonna happen. Not today, Satan. I love
That's
it.
right.
I love it. Okay. So, Wendy, where can the people find you? Where am I sending them?
But the place I love to hang out the most is on Instagram at Dr. Wendy O'Connor. I love to say hello, meet new people, talk to your audience, any listeners that anything resonated with. Of course, come say hello, chat with me, tell me what's going on. Because honestly, like it's more than just a me or a you, it's an us thing. And I feel very strongly that the more women that are out there speaking into the truth of choosing a life that really lights you up, the more that people are going to start living it. So if the weighted vest can make a viral experience on the social, so can life by design. We can reach the masses.
100%. Yep. Facts on facts on facts. Okay, guys, so you know where to go now. I'm so excited. Wendy, again, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for being
Thank
an
you.
amazing guest. I really appreciate everything that you said, honestly.
I've loved it. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. And to you, my amazing listener, thank you so much for staying this far. Ugh, you're like the real MVP. I really adore you. Okay, but honestly, thank you so, so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here. And I, Carol Kabale, will see you on the next episode of the Client Code podcast.